right, Kyle Peterson, one of the best baseball pitchers in Stanford history, was named the National Freshman of the Year in 1995 and led the Cardinal to the College World Series in both 1995 and 1997 as Pac-10 Pitcher of the Year. He is tied for second for career wins and strikeouts, as well as ranks third in innings pitched. He played professionally for 5 years, making his major league debut in 1999, and he joined ESPN in 2003 as a baseball analyst. Kyle's presenter tonight is Coach Dean Stotts. Please welcome Dean and Kyle.
Well, tough act to follow. First of all, I spent my entire career coaching and retired a couple years ago. And I got to say, this is one of the greatest privileges of my life, to be able to present this to Kyle. So often you wonder where great players come from. And Kyle's from Omaha, Nebraska. For those of you who don't know much about baseball, Nebraska's not your hotbed for talent. And I don't think I've ever told this story that to be exposed to us, he came out to a camp we had, the All-Star camp, prospect camp. And while you were pitching, Tom Beckett, one of the former associate athletic directors here and former minor leaguer, happened to drop by the field. And Kyle was on the mound, and I turned to Tom and said, "What do you think?" And he says, "Look at those shoulders on that guy. Look at the arm action. I mean, what are you waiting for?" So he kind of gave me a kick to get things started here a little bit. And then fast forward to July 1st, and I call Kyle and talked to him a little bit. And in the meantime, trying to figure out, do we really want to recruit this guy from the middle of the country who's probably played no competition? And I make a home visit, and the only reason I made this home visit was I actually had a visit in Oklahoma and I had a visit in Colorado. And in those days, you didn't travel one way, you had to drive a car because it was cheaper. And the kid in Oklahoma changed his visit time to where I had a shot away a day. And I said, well, halfway is Omaha, so why waste the day when I stopped to see Kyle and his parents? And in the course of talking to them, they became family. I mean, Monty and Susan and Kyle just really believed in him. Well, the story fits now that 3 years later, he's a first-round draft pick, Milwaukee Brewers, and the night he signs, Monty and Susan are in town. We go downtown to Palo Alto and celebrate, have a dinner, and in the course of the dinner, Kyle says, "Do you remember your home visit with me?" And I said, "Kyle, come on. I remember the dog, I remember the shag carpet. I mean, just." He said, "You remember what you told me?" I said, "I have no idea." He said, "You looked me dead in the eye. You said, 'I don't know if you can pitch here.' And boy, did you piss me off." True story. So, long story short, he ends up at Stanford University. We opened the season at Cal State Fullerton. They're the #1 team in the country. We don't pitch so well, Kyle relieves. We get beat up on his pitching staff. We have a game on Tuesday. Riding home with Coach Marquis on Sunday evening after you lost is not the most enjoyable experience. About Bakersfield, he decides to talk. We started in LA. 3 hours later, he decides to say a few words. We got a game on Tuesday. Who do we pitch? Our pitching coach goes, "Well, we took 11 baseball arms down there. We've used them all. Like, who's able to pitch?" And we go, "Well, I think Kyle can go a few innings." He started on Tuesday and pitched great. Fast forward the whole year, he's 14-1, Freshman Player of the Year in America, Pac-10 Pitcher of the Year, 10 complete games. To put that in perspective, Stanford University last year had 2 complete games on the whole staff, and he had 10 by himself in his freshman year. 1996, we get lights. He opens up against Cal State Fullerton, the #1 team in the country. First night game ever at Stanford University. Being your first game out, you're not going to go very many pitches. In the 5th inning, he's got a no-hitter. I look at Coach. He said, "Don't look at me." I said, how you feeling, big boy? Pretty good. Sixth inning, no-hitter. Seventh inning, still a no-hitter. We're playing Fullerton, number 1 team in the country. I said, Kyle, what do you think? Don't you be taking me out. Gives up a hit in the 9th inning. We take him out. 1997, he goes on to be the Pac-10 Pitcher of the Year, becomes a first-round draft pick. I just want to tell one quick story about his competitiveness, and if you got a hint of it in the home visit. We don't do little dances to, Backstreet Boys or whatever. Well, the pitching staff has kind of their own dynamic to it. I don't think Coach Marcus even knows the story I'm about to share. Supposedly, it's impossible to drink 2 gallons of whole milk, 1 gallon of whole milk, and to keep it down for a half an hour. Kyle's in the locker room with the other pitching staff goes, I love milk. Fast forward, the bets are taken, just no money exchanged now. Hey, I called on July 1st, the first day you can call, right? Kyle downs the milk. At the 32-minute mark, we have a mess to clean up, but he won. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Monty and Susan, who become like family to my family. Went back to celebrate Monty's 70th birthday. Kyle's gone on to have this phenomenal career. He's the voice of college baseball by ESPN. And as good a baseball player as he was, he's even a better person. So it's just a phenomenal, with great joy that you joined the Hall of Fame, baby. Way to go.
This athletic department makes it this long without going on probation, and if we go on for me betting on milk in our clubhouse, that's on you. That's on you. Roz, first and foremost, thanks for doing this, and congrats on succeeding in what is not an easy business. So that is impressive, and it's fun to watch. And someone said it earlier, and I apologize that I don't remember who, mentioned the Buck Cardinal Club and not knowing the names of those that helped us. And that makes it even more amazing. The folks that either have gone before us or that this athletic department has affected in some way that have allowed many of us, honestly, the chance of a lifetime to come to a place that I think a lot of us never thought we'd be at. So for those nameless and those that we've never met, I know that we all say thank you. To Bernard, we appreciate you continuing to uphold the great tradition of this athletic department. It makes a lot of people proud. So thank you for the job that you continue to do. Earl Coberline, wherever you are, I'm not too humble to say this. When you called me, I was really fired up. So I thank you for the phone call, and from a personal standpoint, I thank you for starting the six-man club 20 years ago, which gave us all an excuse to go to a bar that does no longer exist on El Camino before basketball games and have an absolute blast. So wherever you are, I don't see you right now, but thank you, because the six-man club was one of my favorite things about college. I got a chance to see Jenny Claypool, who I hadn't seen in a long time, which I know has affected a lot of people in this athletic department over the years, so it was great to see Jenny again. And Britt, thanks for putting up with my text yesterday, forgetting where I was going and everything else. Sometimes I forget things. Nice job, and thank you for putting this together. To Coach Marquis, who is the most consistent person that I think I've ever met in my life. I know that I was not an easy one to coach. I know that. But there's certain things in life that I think you realize a lot later in life, and I want you to understand how much I appreciate the opportunity that you gave me and that you gave my family. So I thank you, and I will always be indebted to you. There's there's certain people in life that for whatever reason you walk into a room and you respect them right away. Coach Marquis is one of those people, and Coach Dutton is another. And there are very few people that have a combination of calm and competitiveness. And whether you call him 3-5 or the Colonel or Coach Dutton or a variety of other things, you were that guy. I only got to spend 1 year with you, but I cherished that year. And you gave me something moving forward, which was the ability to stay calm in situations that I otherwise wouldn't be. I thank you for that, and I thank you for the interest that you showed in me and so many other people in this program. It meant the world to us. For Stotts, whoever thought they'd get him involved in 2 minutes, you are absolutely kidding yourself. Man's never, that just doesn't work, and it's not going to happen. You know, I remember that phone call on July 1st. I was working out, which would surprise a lot of people that know me, but I actually was working out when you called. You're one of the most honest people I've ever met in my life, one of the most decent people I've ever met in my life. They told me how big of a hard ass you were when I got here, and you are that too. But I'll tell you this, outside of my father, no male has had a bigger influence in my life than you did, and continue to. So thanks for coming, because it means a lot. My parents said no in our house, but they never said no to anything that involved our dreams. And it's kind of cool when you look back on it to understand that, because you don't really know at the time. I mean, it's, you know, they say no for a variety of things, but when it involved anything that they thought maybe would affect us in the long term, they let us go. They allowed us to fail, which we did plenty, but they were okay with that. And this was one of my dreams. I was sitting in the stands in 87 or 88, I don't remember the year, when Paul Carey hit the home run. I didn't know anything about Stanford. I knew I had a program that was signed by Coach Marquis, because I was standing by the dugout when the game got over. But outside of that, I couldn't tell you where the school was, I couldn't tell you anything else, but I could tell you where the home run landed. And for whatever reason, at that moment, this is where I wanted to go. I didn't even know where this was, but this is where I wanted to go. My parents knew. They knew what it was about. They knew how much it costs. In 3-2's infinite wisdom, he offered me 10%. It wasn't cheap. And that didn't deter him at all. The idea was you go over, you think is the right fit, and Lord knows this was the right fit. There are so many things I can thank you for, but this is one of the biggest. So thank you for everything you provide us. My sister is one of my heroes, and she's 3 years younger than me, and she'll be the first to tell you that she had 2 Stanford degrees before I had any. And the math is accurate. You can go back and do it all, but she did, I promise. I got mine. It just took a little bit longer. But she was here as a freshman after I signed. I had gone on. I came back. I had a lot of school to finish up, actually. But the best quarter I had here was the quarter when you were here. And the chance to be able to go to college with your sister and see her in that setting and all the things that came along with it were really cool. So my sister Nicole's here. Her husband Dave's here. We got a little niece named Sophie who's got to take the night off. She's been running a little bit hard, but I appreciate the fact that you're back here. I met my wife when I was 14 years old at a lake in the middle of Iowa in the summer. And I don't know that you can really tell, but I had horrendous glasses. They were terrible. My parents told me they were great. I bought them at the time. I thought they were fine. They were horrible. And for whatever reason, she actually talked to me at that point. And when I got to be a senior in high school, having never stepped foot on this campus, I made a promise that if we made the College World Series my freshman year, that she would show up. So believe me, I wanted to get back there. That was part of it. But there was a little bit more of a goal that was involved in that freshman year. We made it. And she showed up, and for 20 years she hasn't left. And so So I appreciate the support, and I would tell you this. We got 3 kids. Teddy's 10, Janie's 8, Lucy's 6, and they've been actually really, really good tonight. I would tell you above anything else, this is an incredible honor, and you have no idea how much this university has meant to my life and my family's life. But the ability to bring my whole family back one more time and let them see everything is about as cool as you could ask. we got them all back. We got to see it one more time, and I sincerely thank you for the honor. It means the world to me. Thanks.